Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to my channel. Aditya here. Today we are going to continue our prompt engineering crash course. So in that, as we discussed in the earlier session, we have already covered, right, the prompt engineering. What is a prompt engineering and also the anatomy of a prompt. So in this session, I am going to cover types of prompts. Okay. And following, we are going to see evaluating the prompt effectiveness, advanced prompting techniques, and finally the ethical considerations. Okay, and also best practices. But yeah, these are all future sessions. But in this session, we are going to focus on types of prompts. Okay, moving on to our first prompt type is factual responses. Okay, so factual responses like is actually asking questions and getting answers. For example, like what is the value of pi or area of cycle? So if we ask these kind of questions, how these generative AI models will respond, right? Since these are facts, so value of a pi is a fact and sun rises in east is a fact. So these kind of facts, right? If we ask the generative AI, we'll get the answers. So we'll go to the ChatGPT and ask these questions and see how ChatGPT will respond to these factual prompts. Okay, so for that I opened a new session in the ChatGPT and now we'll ask the question. So the question we are going to ask is what is the value of pi? What is the value of pi? And here you can able to see, right, the value of pi is approximately 3.14 some value. It's an irrational number, meaning it has a finite number of non-repeative decimal places. It represents the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter. So it's provided the actual value of pi. Okay, and we'll see about what is the area of circle. Okay, and area of circles we know is pi r square. So the actual value of area of circle is the formula, right? Pi r square. So the same thing ChatGPT or this generative AI model has written to me. Now we'll go back to the slides and see, right? So sometimes the answer which ChatGPT given to us might not be correct. Okay. So for example, if I see here, if I go here and I will try to uh, give this value. So what is the area of XYZ? Because ChatGPT don't know about XYZ. We'll see how it replies. So it is saying it look like you might be asking about the area of a shape of an object referred to as XYZ. If you can provide more details about XYZ, like type of the shape or dimensions involved, I would be happy to help you to calculate its area. Now it got evolved a little bit, but sometimes the response you will get some kind of response, right? So it will give you some made up answers also. So we need to limit the likelihood of made up answers. So how could we limit the likelihood of made up answers is using this phrase. If you don't know the answer, respond with this question mark. So we'll go back to the chat GPT and we'll try this. So now I'm asking about the area of XYZ. And I'm saying if you don't know the answer, don't respond with random answer, right? Instead of that, give me or respond with question mark. And see, it's responded with question mark. And I can say XYZ is equal to triangle and we'll see how this AI model will give you the response. So it's give A is equal to area equal to of into base into height, that is the area of a triangle. Okay, so using this phrase, if you don't know the answer, respond with question mark will help you to reduce or limit the likelihood of made up answers. Okay, in these generative AI models, we have one thing called temperature. And if you decrease the temperature, that means you will get more fact questions or more correct answers or more answers that doesn't involve randomness. But if you higher the temperature, you will get more creative and non-confident answers. That means if you increase the temperature, the generative AI models will try to add some randomness, add some creativeness, and give non-confident answers. So to experience this temperature feature, right, which is not in ChatGPT right now, but if you go to OpenAI Playground, right, the OpenAI Playground, you can able to see in here you have this temperature option. So if I hover here, you can able to see controls randomness. Lowering results in less random completions. So you will get more accurate answers than random answers. As temperature approaches zero, the model will become deterministic and repetitive. Okay, so it will controls the randomness. If you increase this thing, you will get more creative answers, more random answers. So even though it doesn't know the answer, it will add its creativity to give you some answer. Okay, so likewise, you have to control this temperature based on your requirement. Next, so another use case of this factual responses, this prompt is explaining the concepts. So for explaining the concepts, it's not like just giving simple answer and also a better explanation. So we'll see how to use this prompt, right? This factual prompt to give you better explanation. Like explain in simple terms or explain it for a kid or teenager, then you will get an in-depth understanding of a simple question. We'll see now. So I'm going to my prompt list here, right? Explain in simple terms like a kid or teenager. So I'm copying this prompt and going back to my model. So here I'm saying explain in a simple terms like a kid or teenager about area of circle. Okay, we'll see how the model will respond. Look, the model started responding, and here you can able to see. Sure, imagine a circle is like a flat, round pancake. Okay, flat round pancake. The area of the circle is like figuring out how much space is inside the pancake. To find out how much space or area is inside the circle, you use a special formula. Think of the radius as the distance of the middle of the pancake to its edge. The formula to find the area is area equal to pi into radius square. Here the pi is a special number that's about 3.14, and radius square means you multiply the radius by itself. So if you know how far it is from the center to the edge, you can use this formula to figure out how much space is inside the circle. So it gives an explanation which will be understood by a kid or a teenager. Okay, so you can use this kind of prompt to get a better explanation. Okay, so this is about the factual responses, and you can use these prompts to get effective responses. And if you ask explain in simple terms, right, it will explain in simple terms. But if you add a kid or teenager, it will give you better explanation. Okay, so moving on to the next prompt type, that is text summarization. Okay, so with respect to text summarization, we will use summarize the most important concepts of below text. So if you have a text and if you want to summarize the important concepts, right, and if you have more paragraphs and you want to summarize the important concept from it, it's very difficult, right? You have to go through all the paragraphs and you have to summarize it. But by using these generative AI models, you can simplify that process, and you can define the desired format for output. So the output what you want, right, you can say in a bullet pointed list, or you can say in a numbered list, right? You can do that like using bullet points. So here is the prompt for you: separate instructions from input content. So always remember your instructions and your input should be separated. You can use this hash symbol or quotes or these dashes as it eliminators. So here the prompt look like this. Summarize the most important concepts of the below text using 3 bullet points. And we'll try this prompt now in the generative AI model and see how it responds. So here, right, first I'm using this summarize the most important concept of the below text. I'm going to model and pasting the prompt. And in this I'm going to paste the para. So this is the paragraph I copied from internet, so I'm just pasting here. So here I just said summarize the important concept of the below text and entering it, and see it summarized the paragraph. Okay, it's give some important concept here. Now we'll do the same thing by using delimiters. So as I said, we need to use some delimiters. It could be 3 hash or quotes or dashes, your wish, right? You can use anything. And here even we improved by saying in 3 bullet points. So here it's given another paragraph which is not that much clear. But now we separated our input and our prompt, and also we are specifying the output format as 3 bullet points. We'll see how the model responds. And yeah, so you can see, right, it's responded with 3 bullet points. Among all this, it summarizes the most important concepts. Okay, now going back to our presentation, and the next point is code summarization. So we seen text summarization, now we can summarize the code also. So here the prompt: summarize this code using 2 short paragraphs. So you can use 2 short paragraphs to summarizing my code. So you can use this delimiter between the input or the prompt and the input. So here the code is your input and the prompt is summarize this code using 2 short paragraphs. Now we'll go to the generative AI model and try it out. Okay, so here I have my prompt: summarize this code using 2 short paragraphs. And now I'm going to paste my code here. I'm using the delimiter hash hash hash, and I'm pasting my code. So I copied my code and pasted here. So here I'm saying summarize this code using 2 short paragraphs. So this is the code I have which calculate the LCM, and we'll see how the generative AI model responds to this prompt. So here it's given the summarization of this code in 2 paragraphs. The code defines a function calc LCM that calculates the least common multiple LCM of two numbers. It starts by identifying the greatest of the two input numbers. It then uses a loop to find the smallest number that is divisible by both the inputs, which is LCM, and returns its value. So it summarizes the code in 2 paragraphs, right? By using this prompt. Okay, so like that, this text summarization prompts are very effective, and you can use these delimiters and use the output formats, right? Whether bullet points or tabular format, right? You can use any format you want and specify the input and the prompt by delimiting by using the some special symbols like hashes, quotes, and dashes. Okay, so moving on to the next prompt, that is text extraction. We have seen summarization, so we have a text and we summarized it, but we can extract the text also. So how to effectively prompt for text extraction? Okay, so this is the prompt you can imagine. Okay, from the following text, this is an example prompt. From the following text, please extract all companies, schools, and skills. And you have a delimiter from your prompt and also your input, that is some resume. Now we'll use this prompt and see how generative AI model will respond. I'm going to my list. I'm going to fetch the prompt from here, that is from the following text. From the following text, please extract all companies, schools, and skills. Okay, so here I'm going to paste my resume. I have my resume. I'm copying my resume and pasting in this as an input. Okay, this much text it has, and here I'm saying from the following text, please extract all companies, schools, and skills, and we'll see how it responds. So it has so much text, but from the text it fetched the companies, that is Fidelity Investments, Tata Consultancy Services, and schools is Sastra, Beverage, SKD, and skills, right? All the skill sets it's listed here. Okay, so this is good. And to make this prompt more effective, you can define the design format for output. So here we said simply extract all companies, schools and skills, even though our model, right, given three headings and in bullet points. But you can explicitly mention like this. From the following text, please extract all companies, schools and skills, and the desired format you mention the company displays a list of companies, schools as a list of schools and skills in a bullet list. Okay, and you provide your input by delimiter and your input, and we'll see this prompt now. Okay, so I have this prompt, I'm copying it, I'm going to a model and pasting, and here I'm saying from the following text please extract all companies, schools and skills in this desired format, and I need to paste my input text here. For that I'm copying my resume and going to generative AI model and pasting my resume and enter. We'll see how it responds. So it's responded with the same thing, but you will get this headings, capital headings, and you can able to see here, right? The company earlier it is small case, and now you got it in upper cases. Okay, and moving on to the next slide. So text extraction, I hope you are good, and these are the two effective prompts you can use. And the next one is text extraction. In the text extraction itself we can extract the keyword also. So this is another topic in the text extraction itself, that is keyword extraction. So extract important keywords from the following block to use for search engine optimization. So sometimes you are posting a blog and you want few keywords to optimize your search. So in that purpose you can use this prompt, and you can use a delimiter between your prompt and your input like this. And we'll try this out in the chat GPT. So I'm copying the prompt here and going to the model and pasting here. Export important Extract important keywords from the following block using the search engine optimization. So we'll paste the blog also. So we need to get some information for the blog, but yeah, we'll paste this para itself and see how it responds. Okay, and enter. So from this, it's exported important keywords. Look, machine learning, big data, ML models, data insights, C suite, trust in AI and ML, right? Financial data. So like this keyword extraction will work, right? Earlier we see text extraction, and here we extract the keyword for the SEO, search engine optimization. And moving on to the next prompt type, that is text classification. So by using this text classification prompts, you can classify the sentiment of a particular review, comments, or any text or input. Okay, so classify the following comment sentiment as positive or negative or neutral. So give you can state that, right, you can classify as maybe positive or negative, or you can say neutral also. And here you can define like this. So great course, I have learned so much. So what could be the sentiment? It could be positive. And similarly, classify the sentiment for the following comments. So here our input should have a comments and list of comments you can provide, and you can able to see the sentiment of those lists of comments. So we'll see in the hands-on. So I'm going to copy the prompt, right? The first one is we're going to ask the generative AI model to classify the sentiment. So we are saying classify the comment sentiment as positive, negative, or neutral, and my comment is great course. I have learned so much. We'll see what is the sentiment now. Definitely it's positive. Okay. Similarly, I'm going to ask for a list of comments, not single comment. We'll see for list of comments how it works. I'm giving the same prompt, classify the sentiments for the following comments. So earlier we have already provided positive, negative, or neutral. Now the AI model is already aware what was the sentiment type, and it will respond properly. See, I have comments like great course, I have learned so much, the same comment earlier, not up to the mark. Some things are missing in this course. Okay, we'll see. So you can see, right? Great course, I have learned so much is positive, not up to mark is negative, and some things are missing in this course is neutral. So the model has identified the sentiment of the comments what we have provided. Similarly, you can use the reviews to find the sentiments. And moving on to the next slide, that is related to use case. So this is one of the use case you can use for the text classification. So that is support ticket classifications. For example, you have a support ticket, right? And you got one customer feedback or one customer ticket, and you need to identify what is the type of support, whether it is technical issues or whether it's a billing issues or inquiries or it's an complaints. Okay, so to identify that, usually instead of manually going through each and everything and understanding, you can use these generative AI models to classify them. So here, right, given the customer support ticket below, please classify it into one of the following categories. Whether it comes to a technical issue or whether it comes to a billing issue or inquiries or complaints. Okay, so the input should be like this. Hello, I just received my new phone that I ordered from your website, but I am unable to start it. I have charged it for a few hours, but it's not responding. I need help to fix this. Okay, we'll see, right? We'll ask what could be the category to the a generative AI model, and it will take this ticket and find out whether it's technical issue, billing issue, inquiry, or complaint. So we'll go to the generative AI model and we'll paste this prompt and see how it works. Okay, so I'm going to take this prompt now and I'm going to AI model and we'll ask this. Given the customer support ticket, so we are saying we are giving the customer support ticket below, and please classify it one of the following categories: technical, billing, inquiry, and complaints. And delimiter and my input, and the output should be the category. Okay, so enter. We'll see how the model responds. So it's saying it's a technical issue, definitely, because the charger is not working, right? Even though they charged, it's not responding, so it's a technical issue, and generative AI model will effectively found out that it is a technical issue within very less time. And if you have n number of support tickets like this, right, instead of manually going and reading and finding out what could be the reason, you can simply use this generative AI models to classify that. Okay, and moving on to the next prompt type, that is conversation. So you can make conversations with these generative AI models. So if you are bored, and you can able to chat with them, chit chat with them, and your time will pass also. So for example, you want to build some bots, right, AI support bots for the customers for your website or for your product. You can use this generative AI models to respond like a human being. Okay, so we'll see now. So the following is a conversation with an AI robot and a human. The robot is very intelligent, sarcastic, and funny. So you can add these emotions to the AI model and it will try to mimic those emotions. Okay, so this is a prompt, and which will start with some input like human said, hello, how are you? And the robot will say, well, considering that I am caught in a gravitational pull of life's black hole, I'm surprisingly upbeat. Must be my radiant personality. Because we said sarcastic, intelligent, and funny, it's try to come up with some response which will resembles this. And human, I am bored. What should I do today? And the robot, and we'll see. We'll provide this whole conversation to the generative AI model, and we'll see how it responds to us. Whether it is adding all these characteristics into its response or not, we'll check now. So I'm going to copy the prompt, right? So I'm saying the following is a conversation with an AI robot and a human. The robot is very intelligent, sarcastic, and funny, and also I provided few conversations earlier, and we'll see how the robot will respond. Look, robot responded. Oh, the eternal struggle with boredom. How about you try something wildly adventurous like rearranging your sock drawer? Or if you are feeling rebellious, tackle that pile of unread books or binge watch something until your eyes start to question your life choices. Either way, just remember boredom is only a lack of imagination. Look, it's trying to be sarcastic, funny, and even also the intelligent. Okay, so this is how you can use these generative AI models in the conversations. Okay, And moving on to the next topic is the most important and which will be used in GitHub Copilot, Amazon Q, and Google Gemini assistants, that is code generation. So code generation is the thing very which got very famous in generative AI models. Okay, and we'll see now. Writing code, whether it's a Java, Python, JS, HTML, and CSS, etc. So any programming language, scripting language, right? You can use these generative AI models to write. Because these generative AI models got trained on the public domain codes, right? It's know how to write different programming languages. Now, the first prompt should look like this. You can generate code from comments. For example, I am saying Python 3 and write code to calculate the mean distance between 2 points. So here I am saying write code to calculate the mean distance between 2 points, and in the above comment I am specifying the programming language, and we'll see how the generative AI model will respond to this code generation prompt. Okay, so I'm going to copy the prompt and going back to my generative AI model and pasting here. Here I'm saying the type is Python 3, and here I'm saying write code to calculate the mean distance between 2 points. Enter. And we'll see how this responds back. Look, to calculate the mean distance between 2 points in a 2D space, you have to follow these two steps, and it has given some code to us. Look, x, y, something, distance, and the formula, and finally it's printing the mean distance between 2 points, and also it's provided you the explanation, what is the formula behind it, everything. So you got your code, right? That much simple. Since it's given you a Python code because you mentioned it's in Python 3 in the comments. So by using these comments, you can able to generate your code. Okay. And we'll see the next point, that is code generation with starter code with a descriptive name. So this is one way to generate your code, right? By using comments. Or you can use your function name. For example, I am saying some descriptive name, valid website address. So we need to validate the website address. So we'll provide a URL, it need to validate it. So you need to give some descriptive name, not some vague name. If you provide some descriptive name, it can able to understand and provide you the code. And here you provided the curly brace and you said functions. So we'll see how it responds. So I'm taking the prompt here and going to model and pasting here, right? We'll see how it works. So look, since you given this curly brace and function, it identified you want n JavaScript function. So that's why it's giving the JavaScript function which validates the website addresses. And it gives that regular expression and it's validating whether it's correct or not, right? This is not a correct one, this is true, this is false. Because it needs HTTP, yes, and .com, right? So yeah, it's provided that explanation what this regular expression will do and how using that regular expression it's validating and how the response is coming back, right? This is fascinating, right? You just provided the function with some descriptive name, it generated the code for you. And moving on to the next point. So this is for SQL query code generation. Okay, so another way of providing comments is using triple quotes. So previously we provided hash and you can use the triple quotes. So here, right, we are saying for table customers, right, column should be first name, last name, address, city, state, and email. And here we are saying create an TSQL query for all the customers in Arizona named Tyler. So we want a query. So here the customers in Arizona, Arizona, that is the city, and name should be Tyler. We'll see how the query responds here. So I'm going to copy the prompt here and we'll see how the generative AI model will respond. So we are saying write a SQL query, and here you can able to see right here you can able to see right it's written a SQL query for us. So select star from customers, first name should Tyler, and the state should be in AZ. AZ means the Arizona, right? Abbreviative Arizona. Even you can hard code that or it's given some shortcut value to you. So it's fascinating that it has written an SQL code to you and you have used this prompt and you are using these codes as a delimiter so that it can identify it's a comment. Okay, likewise you can use this code generation prompts to generate your code. And the next point in the code generation itself is by using simple data, so sample data generation. For example, you have your code but you need some sample data, so you can do that. Look here, I have added 3 points: create a list of first names, create a list of last names, combine them randomly into a list of 10 full names. We'll see how this works in the generative AI model. So I'm copying this prompt. This is the data generation. So you need some code, right? So data, right, to test your code. So you can use the generative AI models to test the data for you. Look, I'm saying create a list of first names, list of last names, and it's creating. Okay, since you provided in these codes, right, it's written in a Python programming language. So it's created a first names, last names, and it's saying generate random full names. And we'll try without those codes and see how the model will respond. Okay, because we need data generation, so we don't need a code here, we just need some data. We'll say sample data generation, and we'll see. And even though it is written a Python programming language for us, because we have already using the Python programming language, so that's what it's creating. It's but you can use this code to generate your random names and use them as an input to your function. Okay, and the next point is code translation between languages. Yes. So until now we have seen the code generation and also you can translate between languages. For example, you have a code which is in JavaScript, then you can convert that code to Python also. This is the prompt. So here hash JavaScript to Python and you provide your code and say Python language, and finally it will convert your JavaScript code to Python. So we will try it on. So here I have my Python code here. So I'm copying this and pasting here. So here in this example, what I am saying is I have a Python code that is calculsium what which was already we have seen, and I am asking it to convert to the JavaScript, and we'll see. And here is the equivalent JavaScript code for the Python function that calculates the least common multiple. So look how compact it is, but yeah, it's provided the code to calculate least common or LCM using the JavaScript. But you have provided the Python code and you said Python to JavaScript, it translated between different languages. Okay, next one is explain code. So we have already seen the summarization of a code, but this is explanation of code. So you have code which was written by your senior developer, and you want to understand that code, and you can use this you can use this generative AI models to explain what does code do in depth. So here you have some function and you have some code and you are asking what does this function do. So we'll try it on. So I'm going to here, right? I have my calc LCM method. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I will apply that prompt to this method itself. So here I'm saying calc LCM and the method, and here what does calc LCM method do? We'll see now. So the calc LCM method calculates the least common multiple of two numbers. Here is a detailed breakdown of what the function does. Determine the starting point, find the LCM, return the result, and explain usage, right? All the information, and in summary also it provided, and purpose and how it does, and even sample calculation also it's provided. Okay, so this is fascinating, right? And moving on to the next topic in the code generation, that is bug fixes. So you have your code that has some bugs, right? And you can identify the bugs using these generative AI models and you can fix them. Instead of you are manually going through the code and find out the bugs and doing that, we can use this and it will easily identify the bugs. So here I'm saying fix bugs in the below function and the bug code, and we need to provide some code, right? So the bug code, we are saying this sum code is nothing but the bug code, and we are saying the fixed Python code should be displayed below. And we need to use these delimiters for better specificity. So to specificity. Okay, so we'll try it on. So I'm going to my prompt place right here. I'm saying fix bugs in the below function, and the bug code is this thing, and we'll see the fixed Python code. Okay, so I'm going to my generative AI model and pasting here and see now, right? Fix bugs in the below function, bug code, and here what I'm doing is I'm returning 1 by 0. That means I'm returning an infinite exception, right? We'll see how this generative AI model will able to sense it whether we have this bug and fix it. Okay, we'll see now. So here is the corrected version of the cal LCM function issues fixed. So here it made some optimization of the code also, right? And we'll see what it fixed. So it's removed 1 by 0. So the line 1 by 0 was causing division by 0 error. It will be removed because it was not part of LCM calculation logic itself. Added input validation and also replaced x greater than y with some predefined methods and adjusted the formatting. Okay, so it do bug fixing, it do format fixing, it also do validations, right? It fixed your code, bug code. Fascinating, right? And moving on to the next topic is math and reasoning. So the next prompt is math and reasoning. Yes. Can I use this model for math and reasoning questions? I would say moderatively yes. Remember, these are LLMs, large language models. Actually, these predict the answers. But the thing is, if you say 2 plus 2, there is no calculator behind it running. It, based on the data it trained, right? It do some intelligent guesses and provide you the answer. But there is no mathematical calculations or calculator running behind these LLMs. Okay, so you can use for math and reasoning, but you need to evaluate the prompts, right? Based on your model you are using. For example, you are using Gemini or ChatGPT. These are well-known models and which provide most of the cases provide the desired outputs. But there is a possibility these LLMs will predict wrongly also. Okay, just keep in mind. So the first prompt I'm saying solve action equation. So you have this type of equations. You can use these generative AI models to solve those. So we'll try it on. So solve x in the equation, and I'm going back to my ChatGPT and we'll try. This is how it responded. Look, it's clearly did the mathematical steps what we will do, right? 2x plus 1 minus 1 equal to 9 minus 1, and 2x equal to 8, and 2x by 2 equal to 8 by 2, that is 4, and finally the x value is 4. It calculated. Okay, and moving on to the next problem, that is word problem with percentage. For example, if you have a problem like this, if a shirt costs $29 and discounted by 25%, what was the original price? So you can use this type of word problems with percentages also. We'll see how generative AI model will give the response to us. If a shirt costs $29 and discounted 25%, and what is the original price? So you got a shirt for $25 which was discounted by 25% already, and we'll see how it calculated. Look, you do some mathematical calculations, but these are all intelligent guesses. There is no calculator running behind the scenes. You just remember. And it did calculated the profit, that is 38.67, so that the original price is 38.67. So it did calculate the price, that is the original price. So the original price of the shirt was approximately 38.67. Okay, and going back to the another question, that is deductive reasoning. So we have already seen the word problem with percentage and also solving the equation. No, the deductive reasoning. So deductive reasoning should be like this. All dogs bark. Rex is a dog. Thus Rex barks. This is deductive reasoning. Easily we can understand, right? Since all dogs are barking and Rex is a dog, so Rex will obviously bark. But we'll see how generative AI models will respond to this question. Yes, Rex barks. Here is the reasoning. All dogs bark. This means every dog will bark. Rex is a dog. Since Rex is a dog, according to the statement, all dogs bark. Rex must also bark. Thus, since Rex is a dog, all dogs bark. Rex bark. Okay, so you got your answer correctly. And moving on to the next point, that is simple predictive reasoning. For example, if it is cloudy and humidity is very high, what might happen? So it's like predictive reasoning, whether it was reasonably predict what might happen. We'll see. So I'm copying this prompt. If it is cloudy and humidity is very high in the temperature, right? Then what might happen? Right? We'll see how it predict the generative AI model. If it is cloudy and humidity is very high, several things might happen. One is the possibility of rain. Obviously, high humidity often indicates that the air is saturated with moisture. When compared with cloudy situations, this can lead to precipitation. You might experience rain or drizzle. Overcast sky, fog formation, muddy or sticky feeling, and potential for thunderstorms. Look, it's did the predictive reasoning based on out prompt. So in the math and reasoning prompting, right, you can ask these different types of questions to your generative AI models and you will get answers. But do remember, this is a generative AI model which was trained on the public available data, and also it can make mistakes. Okay, so we have covered so many types of prompting, from text summarization, from factual responses, text summarization, text extraction, and text classification, conversation, and math and reasoning and code generation, bug fixes, everything and all. I hope you like this session about generative AI and prompt engineering and types of effective prompts. And you can write on these prompts in your day-to-day life. And I hope you will get more maximized productivity. Thanks for watching my videos. And if you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. And let me know in the comments if you want to learn more concepts. Thank you.